So what I thought I'd do is take this opportunity to do a few hints and tips and tricks on if you're a beginner to resin or if you've been using resin for a long time. Now I'm going to be using the Crystal Clear 1:1. Now this is quite a deep mould, although it has got shallower bits in it. So I should get away with this rather than a deep pour. But what I would strongly recommend is that if you are doing this, then you don't have your room too warm. In a cooler room, it will slow down that exothermic reaction and you are far, far less likely to get flash cured. The other thing is, I'm going to spray this with some mold release because I haven't used these for a long time. Now, a lot of people have been asking me recently, oh, when I put mold release in, I get a film and it can show on the final resin. And the reason for that is you're probably putting too much in. You literally need, that's it, a quick spray of it. That's all you need. Can you hear my Resiner's fan has just come on? It's picked up all that in there. It's shot right to the top and now it's sucking all that out. That's the air purifier from Resiner's. Honestly, I have it going all the time. I'm not sure if I can show it in here. Yeah, there it is. Funny angle, but it's gone red because it's saying there's lots of VOCs in the air now. And now what I'll do is I'll let them dry for about 3 or 4 minutes before I pour any resin in, and that is enough for that. It'll help protect that mold, it'll help release your resin much easier, but also you won't get a residue left over. So I'm going to be using the Tea Expert Crystal Clear for this because I want it to be as clear as possible and as bubble free as possible. And I'm going to mix that up in my large jug here. Now if you want to know where I get these from, then I'll link them in the description below. They come in my resin toolkit, which is a great value. I'm really sorry if they're out of stock. It's just as soon as we get them back in stock, because they're such great value, all they do is they sell out. If you're like me, you mix up an awful lot of resin in a day and your wrist and arm gets tired, then use an automatic mixer. They have come such a long way since they first used to come out as handheld mixers. You won't believe the difference in them now. This one is by Resiners and you've got various speeds on it and you can put it in there for 4 minutes and then it'll mix it up for you. Now what I do halfway through the mixing, just to make sure, especially when I'm mixing up that amount, is I take a clean spatula and I go around the edges like this to make sure there's nothing sticking on the edges, and I also scrape the bottom. And you should do that whenever you mix resin up, whether you're doing it by hand or whether you're doing it by a mixer. Because what can happen, and this is a really important tip, is if you don't do that, you can get bits of resin that aren't mixed up, and then when you cure it up, you'll get soft spots in it. And I know people have fallen foul of that in the past, and you really don't want that. So that's finished mixing now, and always remember to turn off your blade before you lift it up, because if you don't, you're going to get covered in resin. The other great thing is you can mix 2 different types of resin at the same time if you want to. Now this is a very stable mixer. All I'm going to do is get that off there, take that off, and then I can give that a clean with a wipe. I use this, I would say, every time I mix up resin now in the background. I don't show it very often, but it is really useful. Now, because I want these to be lovely and clear, what I'm going to do is degass this resin first in my degasser. Now, don't be tempted to degass your resin in your silicone jugs because you won't get as good a result as you will in doing it in these plastic ones. And always make sure you only fill it up 2/3 of the way like this when you're going to be doing this, because if not, the bubbles will overspill and then you'll end up with a mess in your pot. And the great thing about the Resiners Pro is you can get 4 of these in if you want, but I only need 3 at the moment. All you need to do is turn that on by touching the little tap screen, and that will run for 5 minutes, but I want it to run for slightly longer than that, so I'm going to push the AI and that will run for 10 minutes, but I probably won't need it for the full 10 minutes, and that will completely degas those. And now that's got to 99, you can really see that it's starting to cause those bubbles to bubble up and come out, and after about 4 or 5 minutes they will have all come to the top. So now it's been running a couple of minutes and you can see it boiling up now. It's not going to cause your resin to cure or anything like that, but look at those big bubbles that it's drawing out. So fascinating to watch. I love watching it. So that's had 6 minutes now, and as you can see, those bubbles have got quite large and it really is pulling them out. I will give that probably about another 1 minute 30 seconds and then that'll be done. So now this has had enough time, I think. I can turn it off, and now I release this valve here. Look at that. Where have those bubbles gone? It's magic. So easy to use. And now I can take it out of there, And if any did spill out into there, at least it's going onto the bottom here, and you can pull it out, and it's not going to affect the mechanism of this at all. So the next tip I want to show you is about casting with glitter. Now, you can get so many different types of glitter, but it's really hard, I've found, to get a very fine glitter, because most glitters will sink in resin unless you mix them in just as they're getting really thick and curing up. The trouble is with that technique is you can stir in a lot of extra bubbles. Now, I have found this one. It's not sponsored by this company in any way. They don't even know I exist, and it seems fine enough to use in there. Now, I don't want too much in because I want a bit of glitter in there, a bit of red glitter, because that's what they've asked for. But I also want a little bit of different sparkle, so I'm going to put a little bit of this white in as well. And I'm going to stir this in really, really gently, because I don't want to add any more bubbles into this. Because once your glitter's in it and you've got anything in there rough, you can't then put it back in your Airless Pro, because the bubbles are going to attach to that. And putting glitter in and things like that will add 1 or 2 little bubbles into it, but I'm okay with that. I'm not worried about that. So I've got that mixed up, and I think I need a little bit more glitter in there. So I'm just going to pop a bit more in and then mix it up in the same way. So now I've got my glitter mixed up. What I need to do is pour into this. Now what I'm going to do is pour into the ears first, gently, and then pour into this head until it's over the top of those ears. I'm going to give these ears a bit of a squidgy widgy just in case there's any trapped air in those, because I don't want any trapped air in them. And now I'm going to fill it up by running my resin down the side. That way you're less likely to introduce any large bubbles into it again. Okay, now we've got a bit of overflow here because we've got a ridge here. So all I'm going to do is make sure there's no air caught there by doing, in that bit there I'm talking about, by doing a little bit more squidgy widgy around there, because that's where bubbles can catch. And now I'm going to fill it right up to the top. There we go. Put that to one side and let that cure. And I'm going to do exactly the same with this smaller bear. And for some reason, I managed to mix up too much resin. I don't know how I managed that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this little gnome, because I'm never going to waste resin. So always have some molds to one side just in case you do this. I do mess up now and again with the amounts that I'm going to make. Can you look here? There's a bubble trap there. So if I squeeze that out by squidgy widgying, that bubble is going to go. So they're now all filled up. What I'm going to do is leave them for about 5 minutes to allow any bubbles to come up to the surface, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do next. They should have had about 5 minutes now. All I'm going to do is go over this with a long neck lighter. Never be tempted to go over it with a blowtorch, because you can damage your mold and you can burn your resin and then fix your resin to your mold, and then you've ruined your mold. But always a long neck lighter. I always avoid spraying alcohol as well in my studio. Firstly, it's flammable. Even though I wear a mask, I don't want that vapor in my studio because it gets on other things and it can damage them. Well, these are fully cured now, so I can take them out of the mold. They should come out really, really easily. Oh, that one looking good. Look at all that glitter in there, and none of it sank, which is great news. And the little bear is really cute as well, and the little gnome has come out beautiful as well, and look how sparkly that is. And if you have a look, there is no bubbles in that whatsoever. It does need a little bit of trimming where I did a bit of overpour, and that's easy to do with my deburring tool. All I've got to do is go around it like this, take off this overpour. I love this deburring tool. Honestly, it does take a couple of times to get used to using it, but once you do, it is so easy and it does such a nice, neat job. And I have to have one because I always overpour. And look, no bubbles in that at all. Nowhere. And that's the brilliance of the Airless Pro as well. And also, it mixed beautifully. So let's have a look and see what they look like lit up. Oh, that's really cute. That's so cute. Let's have a look at the little one. Oh, the little bear looks cute too. And because I mixed up too much resin, I've got that. And I'm actually going to keep this for myself and put it out at Christmas as a little light because I think it's so cute. Great success. I'm sure my son's girlfriend's going to love the bears as much as I do. Boop that like button, hit that subscribe button. Check out the video I've got coming up next as well. I think you'll love that one. But most of all, enjoy your resin. Take care. Bye.